Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kurha Kodash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Middle Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up of the Lord plaguing the earth, the whole entire earth. And you better pray like heaven, Lord, have mercy on you if you're a Hebrew Israelite. But if you're a heathen, you fucked. If you're 2/3 of Israel, you fucked too. Anyway, I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripture my best ability, say whatever God say through the spirit, power, Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Kurha Kodash. Lord willing be on me. Let's get it.
The super volcano Campi Flegrei in Naples in Italy. Guys, I'm scared. I'm very worried about the people in Italy right now.
I ain't. Well, I am worried about the hopeful elect, or the elect of Israel over there.
Especially around the red zone.
Everybody else, I ain't give a fuck about them. The heathens are 2/3
of the volcano. You know, it started out with a magnitude 4.7 magnitude. That is volcanic. This is not tectonic. This is what the volcano
and that called filled with rocks
is doing. But since then we had several high tremors, magnitude 3.8. So first earthquake was in the evening hours, but then it's going on through the night. And guys, I've just been taking a break of 1 hour, doing some research for this video, but haven't looked at the earthquake list. And I just looked at the earthquake list again, and I was like, oh my god, guys, really? Let's have a look at this earthquake list first. And I have new videos and images from the damages that happened. Homes collapsed, landslides, big boulders, rocks coming down, dust everywhere, red skies. It's a disaster unfolding there. And it was very, very strong. People have anxiety. They're afraid. I will show you comments. People are saying help wasn't coming. We're alone. Where do we go? Our house is uninhabitable. So it's unprecedented what has happened. I've been covering Campi Flegrei for a few years now, but it has never happened like this, guys. I'm scared about this volcano. In light of all the studies that I have reported about, all the studies that gave a warning that we could see a phreatic eruption without a warning, that we could see even more. And we do have an interview of volcanologist Giuseppe De Natale. He's worked for the INGV, high position. He's been warning for years. And he has given an interview. And what he is saying, I'm just giving you the headline, we must prepare for any scenario at Campi Flegrei. Serious interview, we'll talk about that. But let's discuss the latest earthquake list. Before we talk about the damages, people injured, people in the hospital, critical condition, all that is happening as we speak. We've had large power outages, train stopped. It's catastrophic right now. But guys, look at these earthquakes. There's so many in this list. The INGV doesn't even show the smaller ones. So we probably have 3 to 4 times more than the ones that you see there. But I'm scrolling through that list and the larger ones are highlighted in gray. But last time I had like 4.7 and a 3.8 and then some, and I'm like, what did they downgrade some earthquakes? What's going on here? So we have 1:33 a.m. right now in Italy, and I'm like, okay, there's a it's just been upgraded, another 2.5 at 1:35. Guys, they keep coming. And what is so unusual, and you'll see that when we look through the list, they don't even fit on one page anymore. The magnitudes, how high they are, guys, this is blowing me away. So we just had a 2.5, but I was looking, where's the 4.7? That was just here when I stopped.
I don't want to see no damn chart. Still showing charts. Oh, and then there's an ad.
The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, is the latest game from Square Enix about
damage to the alert level from dark yellow to light orange. So damage, 2 injuries, at least 21 people have been injured, 2 are forming critical condition. I'm reading you the latest. Extensive damage has been reported in the Pozzuoli and Bagnoli areas, and in the entire emergency response chain has been alerted after this magnitude 4.7. It is the strongest tremor ever recorded in the volcanic caldera since it was first monitored. It caused anxiety in Naples, greater Naples area, more than 6 million people. Bradyseismic phenomenon, this is what they call it officially, but it is a volcanic crisis. This is what it is. Collapses occurred in Consoli and in the Bagnoli neighborhood. Damaged buildings has caused the collapse of an archaeological site. That is history lost. Widespread panic in Baccioli Quarto and this time even more remote areas such as Giuliano and Quagliano. So Operation Center at the prefecture has been convened. Firefighters are out at work. Local and national civil protection has been mobilized. The two injured people have been hospitalized with red coat, they say, one with orange coat, so in more critical condition. Also, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni.
All right, let me stop the video. I'm playing too much. I gotta get in some more videos. And I might come up with some more. Come across some more videos. And the Lord might give me. What is this about? Yeah, some lack of water look like. Yeah, it's a water line. But anyway, let me see if I can add that in there. How many minutes is it? 8 minutes? Yeah, I can throw that in. Let me see where we at. We gotta put this at. Oh, where we at? Here we go. Alright, let's get to the next video. More plagues.
The ground has stopped shaking,
that one,
but the suffering...
And that one with earthquakes. Oh yeah, this one's about earthquakes too. It's heat waves. Yeah, Japan getting their ass whooped. The Lord put some karate on their ass. Some natural disaster karate.
Hasn't. 36 people are dead. Thousands remain displaced, and tens of thousands of homes still have no running water. Now, 40-degree temperatures are pushing survivors to their limit. Japan is racing against time before the heat claims more lives. Four days after the magnitude 7.1 earthquake struck Japan's Kumamoto prefecture on July 28th, the humanitarian crisis is deepening. According to Japanese authorities on August the 1st, the estimated death toll has risen to at least 36, while more than 9,200 people remain in 229 evacuation centers. Around 72,000 households are still without running water, and temperatures are forecast to reach 40 degrees Celsius, raising fears of heat stroke among survivors. Recovery efforts continue across the disaster zone. Volunteer teams have begun clearing damaged homes, major transport routes are gradually reopening, and police, firefighters, and Japan's self-defense forces continue searching the collapsed Aeon Mall Kumamoto, where 12 people have been rescued.
Damn, that was an explosion. That was like boom.
Continue searching the collapsed Aeon Mall Kumamoto, where 12 people have been rescued, 7 deaths confirmed, after a powerful explosion ripped through the building about 80 minutes after the earthquake. For many survivors, the disaster did not end when the ground stopped shaking.
I was lying down on the bed when the earthquake came. The earthquake came all of a sudden, and it shook violently, so I could not stand up. After a while, you can see the kitchen here, but I heard my grandmother call for help. I wore my clothes, but I couldn't enter the kitchen from here, so I got out of the bathroom and went over there. I piggybacked my grandmother and got out, and when we got out, the house had become like this.
With thousands of homes damaged, many families are still living inside their vehicles.
I have been living inside the car. We go out during the day to do some shopping. We drive to get beverages and food for the day, and we eat inside the car. At night, I haven't been able to sleep because we've had earthquakes. There's a lot of sound. In the beginning, I was only able to sleep for 10 to 15 minutes.
After days without normal living conditions, survivors say even basic comforts have become a luxury.
I just want to take a bath now. I want to take a bath and I want to sleep under a blanket in an air-conditioned room.
Well, get ready for them comforts gonna be going bye-bye. Either it's taken away from earthquakes or other natural disasters, or either they just, Esau, the elite of the wicked rulers, turn everything off on your ass. Anyway.
Asked when life might return to normal, Kubo said the
life ain't turning no normal shit.
Recovery would take years.
I have no
damn sure I ain't got years in this bitch.
Idea when our house can be rebuilt. There are hundreds of collapsed houses. I think it will take a year or two before they're restored.
The earthquake has also exposed another challenge, finding shelter for families with pets. Factory worker Tomoko Takaoka said the latest quake felt even worse than the devastating 2016 disaster.
This time, when the earthquake struck, I was at work, and I felt shaking even stronger than before in 2016. All the furniture fell over, and it was a really terrible situation. It was scary.
Unable to find an evacuation center that accepted her 2 dogs, she initially spent the night inside her car.
I couldn't use electricity or running water, and I was worried about heat stroke. Since I have dogs, I initially spent the first night sleeping in my car, but that got a bit difficult. Eventually, I found out through social media that this place allows people and their pets to stay, so I came here. They're just like family to me. I'd like to stay with them as much as possible, and they're so very important to me.
Yep.
Out here, every commander seeks something different.
The director of the animal hospital, now sheltering evacuees, said social media quickly spread word that the facility was accepting both people and pets.
We've been known since the Kumamoto earthquake 10 years ago because we accepted evacuees with pets at that time. People in Kumamoto already know this place exists. Nowadays, if anybody posts information on social media, word spreads very quickly. We don't really have to advertise, people just come.
Tokuda also highlighted a long-standing problem during disasters.
During disasters, it's only natural for dogs and cats to stay together with their families. But people who don't own pets don't necessarily want to be with them. They worry about fleas, odors, allergies, and noise. Pets are often viewed negatively, which is why many evacuation shelters often don't allow people and pets to stay together.
As aftershocks continue and extreme heat grips Kumamoto, Japan's recovery has become not only a race to rebuild damaged communities, but also a struggle to protect the lives and dignity of those who survived the quake.
Alright, let's stop right there, man. This 2 days ago. 13 hours ago, I think. Oh, and they trying to explain the, I don't know what the hell this is. What is this? Are Europe's wildfires getting out of control? I don't know. Should I even play it? Yeah, fuck it. What I'm gonna say, I ain't gonna play it now, but I'm gonna. Well, shit, 17 minutes? No, because it's gonna be too much. They ain't gonna just sum it up. Make a short version of it. Yeah. What is this? 7 days ago. Old Trail. Oh, it's an Old Trail fire jumps. Yeah. I'm just going to stick with what I got so far. I don't want to play no 17-minute long videos. Let's see what's going on. Meals on Wheels. Volunteers brave heat to deliver food.
And our heat wave can take a major toll on the homebound. People who may not be able to get out rely on Meals for Wheels for food. Fox 4's Alex Way rode along with some of the group's volunteers who serve as a lifeline, especially during these triple-digit days. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Clarice. They really do. And as we heard Dan mention, of course, we're in the midst of another very hot week. Tomorrow is supposed to be hotter than today, and Friday, as you mentioned, expected to be the hottest day of the week. You know, folks are doing what they can to get some relief if they're outdoors. We've seen a couple of people kind of walking through the water feature here in downtown Dallas. And as you mentioned, volunteers out and about today making deliveries under the hot Texas sun. Now, we tagged along as folks with the Visiting Nurse Association of Texas made food deliveries as part of their much relied upon Meals on Wheels program. Now, that's Jennifer Atwood and Kyle Francis alongside her. They had 12 home deliveries to make today, so getting an early start was important. There was a cooler filled with bottled water at that distribution site they're able to grab from and stay hydrated. Now, this duo, part of an estimated 4,000 volunteers who help deliver some 7,000 meals a day. They've got to pace themselves, as you might imagine, when they're out working in these dangerous heat conditions like we've had lately. Their clients rely on them.
Are you staying cool?
Yes, I am. Trying to stay cool.
Trying to stay cool?
Trying to stay cool.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard these days.
It's real hot. I appreciate them so much because they always around here and they ask us how we doing and everything. Is everything all right and everything? I enjoy them, and that makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's Miss Alice. She says she does her walks at 7 in the morning in this heat. Now, because of the extreme heat, volunteers are also delivering box fans to vulnerable residents. The VNA says a single box fan can make the difference between a safe home and...
Them damn things use up too much electricity. But better than nothing. And they don't really circulate. I got some of them, and I realize them bitches do not fucking work well. But like, say better than nothing, yeah. Hey, shit, get one of them power tools. It could be a Ryobi to a DeWalt, Milwaukee, or I don't know if Hilt. They make, I don't know, they make tool fans, but them bitches work. They work good. You set it on low, and then you can feel it. You can feel it like, the air blowing. You could be like 10 feet away from that sucker. You can feel the air blowing. You put it on high, you can definitely feel it then. But I just keep it on low. But anyway.
A health emergency.
You could plug them in. It's a hybrid. You can plug it into a wall outlet, and then you can put a battery in there.
And recipient.
And they don't use that much electricity or much power.
I can tell you firsthand are extremely grateful. Meet Aubrey Key. This disabled retired grandmother got emotional when she received that donated fan.
Some of our friends at VNA donated fans to give to you.
Oh, like she got a car or something. She got a car. Oh my goodness, gee, look cry. Thank you. You some kind white folks. Oh, gee, look cry. Thank you.
Aw.
Shit, you be like, give me an air conditioner, bitch. I don't want that fucking box fan. I want to get out of Babylon, really. You wanna get the hell out of Babylon. Get out of that damn. You want a new body. Fuck this damn janky ass body you sitting. You got shit. You still stuck in that chair and shit.
Thank you. You're so
Oh my man, she talking like this shit is it's like she got a full AC unit installed in the house. It's like she sold. Well, anyway.
welcome. Thank you.
She is sobbing like, man, she got a new setup of AC in the whole house.
Here's your lunch. Here, we'll bring this in, okay?
But Jake be thankful for anything to get. Esau be like, nigga, I want more. I ain't satisfied. Fuck that shit, nigga.
You can put
You
it
got Edomites giving it. They appear to look like Edomites.
in your room. You don't have a
You know what? I ain't even seen this woman face shit. Seen this guy face, but not her.
fan in your room. Well, now you do. Yeah.
Oh, there's a face.
It was a very touching moment, as you can see for yourself. You know, Ms. Key lives on a very fixed income, so she says she doesn't have any extra money to buy a much-needed item like a box fan. She says it's going to go in her bedroom. And I can tell you that the VNA is in the midst of what it calls a summer fan drive. If you'd like to help people like Ms. Key, you can do so simply by going to the VNA of Texas Amazon.
If there was somebody who needed a fan, hell, I got two of them to give to them. I don't need that shit. Yeah. But that was nice of those white people to give Eve a fan. Heck yeah. And there was another Eve they got a fan. Yeah. Still hot as fuck though. Let's get some more videos about this deadly heat wave.
Well, they're finally getting a break from the heat here in Gettysburg, but the heat wave blanketing much of cattle country is doing more than stressing producers. It's taking a financial and physical toll on their herds. As temperature and humidity soar, some feedlots are reporting cattle losses in the thousands. Michelle Rook looks into the heavy toll that it's taking in Farm Journal Insights this weekend.
Yeah, Tyne, unfortunately, the extreme heat and humidity across cattle country from north to south is dealing a crushing blow to cattle producers. Despite stepped-up efforts to keep cattle cool, performance has been compromised, and there are rising death losses reported in feeder cattle and feedlot operations.
The relentless heat wave is taking its toll on cattle feedlots and smaller farmer feed yards, with reports of cattle weight gains going backwards.
You think 3% on a 1,600-pound steer is 48 pounds. I would guess in the last 3 days when you've got heat index values close to 120 or even 130 in places in Nebraska, those cattle have shrunk 100 pounds pretty easy.
The bigger story is death loss being reported in central and southern plains feeding areas.
We've heard up to 300, lot in the hundreds in the southern states. You know, on a percentage basis, I would say there's some yards that are at 3%, some are at 1%.
But the bigger losses have been in the northern feedlots.
Here in Nebraska and South Dakota, they've been taking the brunt of it as these cattle are bigger up here in the north, and they're not really maybe accustomed to the heat or the prolonged heat. It's been staying too hot at night in most instances, and these cattle just can't get cooled down.
Many feedlots had sold cattle to be delivered before the heat set in, but some of those heavier cattle were pushed back by packers. Now this has led to tens of thousands of cattle deaths from north to south, and that number could grow if the heat is further prolonged.
I'd say we're probably in the neighborhood of probably 15 to 20 right now. If we get another hot stretch, we could probably work that number up towards that 20 to 30,000 head very easily, especially from what I've been hearing.
The losses are always a blow to feedlots, but especially in this high price environment.
Financially, yeah, it's definitely it's big. You know, it depends on the size of the yard, how much they can absorb, but regardless, one is tough, but losing multiple is not good.
Obviously, zero is too much in this market with what the cattle are worth, but not real good.
Some feedlots or farmer feeder operations do have insurance, but not all due to the high cost.
Well, anyway, that's gonna affect the bread, you know, the food supply, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, let's get some more videos about heat wave, or actually fire, wildfires.
Πολύ δύσκολη, ειδικά η σημερινή ημέρα. The situation is extremely hard, especially today. We have really strong winds, gusts exceeding 73 kilometres an hour. The direction of the fire can't be determined easily. Our brothers, the firefighters, are the ones fighting the massive battle.
Shit, man, we'll go ahead and play this. I thought that video would be a lot longer than that. Let's say play this too.
Hundreds of firefighters in Greece are fighting to protect a seaside town on the Gulf of Corinth from wildfires set by gale force winds. The fire is threatening Porto Germeno, a resort community about 65 kilometers northwest of Athens. More than 300 people were evacuated Friday from a nearby village where the fire broke out. Greece is one of several Mediterranean countries battling wildfires, but have been spared from heat waves and major fires until this week. And DW's Sofia Kleftaki told me more about the fires around the Greek capital.
Well, firefighters continue the battle with the flames, and actually throughout the country, including the wider area of Attica and Porto Germeno, which is west of Athens. And the main challenge here is not only the very high temperatures and the dry weather conditions, but especially the very strong winds in the area. So they reach around 70 kilometers per hour, making it very difficult for the firefighters to operate. So several parts of the area have been evacuated, and the Greek authorities are sending emergency text through the warning system in order to inform the people. Also, they urge people to follow the evacuation orders. And as a Greek Minister of Climate Crisis and Civil Protection also stated, Evangelos Tounasi stated that the emergency response system...
Raging fires are swallowing Spain and France.
It was really fast and everything. There is like literally nothing left.
In France, it's been described as the worst disaster since World War II. Gigantic blazes have already...
Hey, we already in World War III. Yeah.
Wiped out huge amounts of land, tens of thousands of acres burnt, driven more than 360,000 people from their homes, and obliterated hundreds of houses to ash.
Hey, the Agenda 2030. Hey, don't never let a good crisis go to waste. Perfect opportunity for Esau to set up people to go in those smart cities, or if you want to live in, get a microchip. Yeah, pretty much. I'm just get straight to the point. This shit leading to that chip implant. Heck yeah, you want to live in a smart city, get the chip implant, nigga. Anyway, you want a home, yeah, get a chip implant. I don't know how to say it, just to get straight to the point.
And for crews on the ground.
It's also me the plagues of the Lord, but like I say, with all these plagues, the Lord bringing, the Esau gonna see it as a perfect opportunity. Get you microchip. That's what we're gonna lead to.
It's a race against time before another heat wave threatens an inferno.
The fire is big. It's like David against Goliath.
This is Europe on fire.
There's plagues from the Lord. Oh shit! What the fuck?
Hellish scenes in Spain where wildfires burn out of control. In France, one mega blaze is just 15 miles from the center of the city of Bordeaux.
Weeks of 40-degree temperatures with bone-dry woodland have primed Europe for an explosive fire season, prompting thousands to flee their homes to find safety.
We keep thinking about our homes, wondering what we'll find when we return. Will our house even still be there?
Maps showing multiple hotspots flaring across Gironde as a crisis beginning to take shape. Already 7,600 acres have been scorched, whole stretches of forest burning in a single sweep. And the fire is growing.
I ain't playing no more of this. If you wanna watch the rest of it, here go the title of it. Yep, Europe's on fire. Let's get to the next one. What is this? I think this is in America.
Tonight, the race to contain the flames as wildfires break out across the West.
In California, crews battling this blaze in the Oakland Hills. And another north of San Francisco in Sonoma County, the Woodside Fire, fighting it through the night this week. A highway patrol dash.
Yeah, them guys, they're probably prisoners. Yeah, because you know they got prisoners used to fight fires.
Camera.
Or either they're using people from other countries like Mexico, and it's mostly Jake.
Showing the flames just off this roadway, sparks flying off the vehicle's windshield. Parts of 8 states facing significant fire danger, with areas in Washington and Oregon dealing with extremely critical risk, the highest threat level.
Any fire that is able to start will not only grow very quickly, but it could become out of control and life-threatening very, very quickly.
Washington's governor now declaring a statewide wildfire emergency. In Oregon, the Roe Creek Complex fire is massive, nearly 500 square miles burned so far. And this video showing a so-called smoke-nado at the Coleman Creek fire. And in Boise, Idaho, high temperatures are the danger. Multiple heat-related incidents at this banana ball game Friday night. 7 people rushed to the hospital. This as more than 50 million are under heat alerts across the country. Southern Californians among those on alert. Lifeguards there warning of dangers in the water as families flock to the beach.
Kind of hazardous conditions still, so our lifeguards are staffed up. They're still making lots of rescues and preventatives.
That's because Tropical Storm Genevieve is bringing a high risk of rip currents from Orange County to the Mexico border.
Ryan Chandler joins us now from Dallas. Ryan, how long is that heat supposed to last?
Well, Jose, some of those heat alerts will remain active through at least Monday night. In cities like Las Vegas, Phoenix, and Denver, we'll see high temperatures significantly above normal. Jose?
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on...
Everything in our house is gone. The kitchen, the living room, the windows, the second floor. Everything is covered in mud.
Do we still have our car?
No.
On July 6th, 4 reservoirs in Hangzhou, Guangxi nearly breached at the same time, bringing a devastating disaster to hundreds of thousands of local residents. Homes were destroyed, vehicles were swept away by floodwaters, and families lost everything they owned. Many families also lost loved ones in the disaster. The man's wife and daughter were both swept away and killed by the floodwaters. Overwhelmed by grief, he broke down in tears. The Liulan Reservoir is located in Dutian Village, Hangzhou City. After the dam breach on July 6th, several downstream villages and towns were severely affected. Dutian Village resident Mr. Wei said the village was the first to be hit after the reservoir collapsed. At around 6 a.m. that morning, power and internet services had already been cut off, preventing residents from sending out warnings. Other downstream villages, including Liulan Village, did not receive timely alerts and were unable to evacuate. As a result, the villages suffered some of the worst damage, with nearly all homes reduced to rubble by the floodwaters. More than 3 weeks after the disaster, many areas have still not completed cleanup efforts and remain in chaos. Residents who lost their homes are struggling to survive, while local authorities had announced that every affected household would receive subsidies. Many victims say that so far, not a single payment has been received. Oh my goodness. After just one heavy rainstorm, the villages around Liulan Reservoir in Nanning, Guangxi, have been pushed back to what they looked like before 1949. Look, there is wood everywhere. Today is July 18, 2026. This entire area used to be filled with houses. There were homes here, but now they have all collapsed. After the destruction, the affected residents said they were promised 300 yuan per person per household to rent temporary accommodation, but the money has still not been provided.
Shit. Huh. Yeah, that's fucked up.
The 2 resettlement sites here have also been shut down, and people have been forced to leave. There used to be houses here, but they were demolished, forcibly demolished.
Yeah, they're getting ready for a smart city to be built there, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, get them chip implants.
Any place that could provide shade was removed. Now all that remains are these emergency relief tents. The 300 or 500 yuan never...
I mean, all I can tell you, these are plays from the Lord, but I don't know what the ruling class of Moab plan on doing with all that property. Probably, I don't know, probably same thing as all these other countries plan on attempting to do. Set up smart cities or some shit, I don't know.
Arrived. Not even 100 yuan was paid. Villagers urgently hope to rebuild their homes, but so far the local government has not even provided a basic explanation.
Damn, they don't give a fuck about their own people. Ain't that fucked up?
A villager points to a photo of his former village, his voice breaking.
The village was ours, but now it has all been destroyed. We can no longer even confirm ownership of our residential land.
Give us a plot of land. Give us a place. Give us a home. We need somewhere to rebuild our lives. Right now, we have no home. There are children and elderly in our family. The children still need to go to school, and the elderly still get sick. We had no choice but to run and hide somewhere else. We left with nothing. We only saved our lives. All we have is one set of clothes we're wearing. We lost everything. Cash and other belongings were all washed away. As for the residential land they promised us, where exactly is the location?
The situation in Liulan village is equally heartbreaking. However, scenes like this are unlikely to ever appear in official state media reports. A self-media blogger visited the area. Was this your old house?
Yes.
Oh, so the old house is gone.
The old house has now become ruins. Only the foundation remains. Look, everything was washed away. Luckily, you were not here at the time.
At that time, we were up here on the upper floor of that building. So you were hiding up here at the time? Yes, the water had already reached the second floor.
Did the water really rise all the way here? Yes. This entire area was covered with mud. The flooding reached the second floor. How long did the water stay this high?
It started at around 9 a.m. The water did not recede until around 3 or 4 a.m. the next morning. Some kind-hearted individuals traveled to the area to deliver relief supplies.
Alright, I'm gonna start right there, but Moab gameplay. Let's see, I don't know where's this at.
Harbor Freight Tools are working hard in real garages.
India thing. I don't even know what it is. Yeah.
The severe flood situation in India has reached catastrophic emergency proportions as relentless, overlapping monsoon weather systems simultaneously batter the western state of Gujarat and the northeastern state of Assam. These dual climate-induced humanitarian crises have submerged vast industrial corridors, destroyed hundreds of thousands of hectares of fertile agricultural land, wiped out critical infrastructure, and caused massive displacements affecting millions of citizens. With the combined verified death tolls in both states climbing rapidly past 117 casualties, 35 in Gujarat and 82 in Assam, multiple national and state disaster response forces, alongside the Indian Armed Forces, are conducting round-the-clock rescue operations under continuous extreme downpours. The India Meteorological Department, IMD, has maintained a highly critical red alert for 13 highly vulnerable districts across Gujarat. This disaster is driven by a potent, well-marked low-pressure system lingering over southeastern Rajasthan, which is feeding massive tropical moisture directly into Gujarat's atmosphere by interacting with the highly active monsoon trough and an east-west shear zone cutting across central India. Valsad and Navsari districts, positioned along Gujarat's southern coastal belt, these districts stand as the primary zones of destruction. They account for 29 out of the state's 35 reported fatalities. The coastal industrial town of Umbergaon in Valsad recorded a historical catastrophic rainfall event, logging an astonishing 1,200 millimeters to 1,300 millimeters of rainfall in a brief 36 to 48-hour window. This extreme volume completely overwhelmed all natural drainage basins, turning roads into rushing rivers and stranding entire neighborhoods under 10 to 12 feet of water. Surat City, the prominent commercial metropolis of Surat, has suffered immense urban waterlogging and economic paralysis. Relentless rainfall bursts completely overwhelmed local infrastructure. Major arteries including VYP Road, Pandasara, Katargam, and Dabholi were rendered completely impassable as the overflowing Pedawad Creek backflowed directly into urban residential settlements. Ahmedabad and Central Plains, the Central Economic Plains, have not been spared. Suburban regions such as the heavily populated Bhopal area in Ahmedabad recorded nearly 491 millimeters of rainfall over a rolling 36-hour period, prompting the...
I'm gonna start right there. A lot of people getting rain or water and too much of it, and it's deadly. But some people ain't getting none, or some people some of that water being affected and being cyber attacked and all that shit. Anyway, let me get to the video.
Hi everyone, this is Bissam from Gaza, and I am still alive. The only source of drinking water here in Gaza Strip is the aquifer, or the underground water, and this is basically because Israel is stealing the Palestinian rivers and valleys, preventing the Palestinians themselves from getting to their own water, besides destroying the seawater desalination plant that was supposed to provide hundreds of thousands of Palestinians with drinking water before 2023. Today we are reporting this. We're asking the Palestinians how they're dealing with this issue, and we're figuring how the Gazans are obtaining water after all.
والله كثير احنا تعبنا. سيدنا امبارح كلم واحد وحكى له امبارح بدنا نعبي مي ما جاش تبع الذنب ما تعبينا مي مالحه وانا صغير كنت اعبي مي.
لك 3 سنين يعني؟
عندي 3 سنين.
كم درب زاهي بتعبي في اليوم؟
4 3 متعبة كتير. أنا كل عمري كنا نجيب هذا نعبي ماي بنروح نجيب كل شيء كنا نجيب، بس اليوم متعبة المية كتير.
ليش طيب؟
من القرب والقلان بشيل كل شيء.
وهو الولد الصغير كمان بيتعب عشان ايش حكايه انه الدنيا صيف وهو بيقعد يحمل ميه في الشمس، فيعني الصغير بيتعب كمان.
شو اسمك؟
ساره.
ساره قديش عمرك؟
13. كثير هو بده يقعد يدور في الشوب عشان يلاقي ميه متوفره، وبعدين انه يعني الطفل بيقدرش يحمل كميات المي اللي بيعبيها، فهو محتاج الى مساعده. انه الطفل ممكن كمان ما يلاقيش مكان حوالين بيته انه يكون متوفر فيه ميه.
Most of Gaza's fresh water comes from the underground water source called Coastal Aquifer. And for years, more water has been pumped out than nature can replace, allowing seawater to seep in. During the genocide, damage to water and sewage systems polluted it even further. And today, much of Gaza's groundwater isn't safe to drink without treatment and desalination.
قطاع غزة من ناحيه الفقر المائي بسميها، الحل لازم يكون غير تقليدي. عشان هيك رحنا باتجاه محطات تحليه البحر. تم تنفيذ الاجزاء الطارئه منها ل3 محطات تحليه، وكنا في صدد انشاء المحطه المركزيه اللي في منطقه دير البلح اللي تغطي حوالي 55 مليون متر مكعب في السنه. محطات تحليه البحر المركزيه كانت 3. من بدايه الحرب فقدنا واحده كامله، هي اللي كانت تخدم غرب غزه كلها، بس للاسف اجت الحرب دمرت ما كان موجود وما كان مخطط له. اغلب الصرف السطحي مبروع على البحر مباشره، او انزل على الخزان الجوفي في المناطق الساحليه اللي فيها المياه في تلوث مباشر ما بين الصرف السطحي وما بين المياه اللي بيستخدموها خاصه الناس الموجودين في المناطق المواصي. بس بالوجه بالك كنا بنحكي عن حوالي 80% تم تدميره اما بصوره جزئيه او بصوره كامله.
Yeah, I thought, hey, when the water they're numbing getting, yeah, they're getting water, but it's nasty, it's toxic. It's either got salt mixed into it, and I don't know what else. But yeah, it's not drinkable. And soon shit like this gonna be happening in America. You won't have drinkable water. We have a shortage of that. Yep. Or either water to bathe in. But anyway.
Today we are in a desalination plant that is still working despite the severe circumstances here in Gaza Strip. The process starts actually from the well, the underground water. Gaza is at the sea, so the underground water is close to the surface. People can dig to obtain water in general, but it's not drinkable until it's desalinated. The process after that is the desalination of the water inside the machine before going to the trucks and having the chemicals inside it. Today I am starting the desalination process of the day in one of the water desalination plants here in North Gaza. اللي قلنا لك desalination plant. I have the honor to do this and to help some people to obtain water for their day. We do this, turn to manual, turn on.
Goddamn turned on, that shit went off.
يلا. Again. Oof, alhamdulillah. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Gosh. I was scared that it's bad or something happened to the generator. Even in areas where some wells and desalination plants are still undestroyed, the Israeli blockade and the prevention of fuel, chemicals, generators, desalination plants, and even some spare units from entering to Gaza prevent a sufficient solution, a sustainable solution for the problem. Very important piece of information.
Well, no matter what, these still are plays of the Lord. Whatever it's being caused, shit. Get to the next one. What is going on? FBI wants cyber attacks on water. I mean, FBI warns, not once. Well, they probably do warn. But FBI warns of cyber attacks on water systems in 7 states.
Tonight, the FBI warning cities across the country about cyber attacks to municipal water systems. Writing utility companies in at least 7 states have reported incidents to the FBI. and some of that activity degraded water operations. In Minnesota alone, more than 30 municipal water systems have been targeted, and a senior law enforcement official has told NBC News that attack bears all the hallmarks of Iranian-backed hackers. Though today, President Trump denied Iran was behind it.
I don't think so. I blame it on Minnesota because they're grossly incompetent.
Wow.
Minnesota's Democratic Governor Tim Walz firing back. Trump knows exactly who's responsible for this attack and knows
Esau, Amalek,
that other states were hit too, adding it further illustrates there's no plan to win a war with Iran.
Iran's got bigger problems than worrying about Minnesota.
Back in April.
Well, damn. Hold on, let me play that back.
And to win a war with Iran.
Iran's got bigger problems than worrying about Minnesota.
Back in April, after the start of the Iran war, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, warned of Iran-affiliated hackers trying to exploit a specific piece of equipment.
This is a wake-up call, not a catastrophe.
Cynthia Kaiser is a former deputy director of the FBI.
I mean, this devil Trump want to make it seem like it's a joke. Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's a joke to the state of Minnesota, but shit. Yeah, people need water. Whatever. Anyway.
Cyber Division. Is the water supply safe?
Yes, there does not
She hesitated.
appear to have been any effect on water quality as a part of these attacks. But the reality is that we have to be looking to the future about when these types of attacks could become a lot more consequential.
Cybersecurity experts we spoke with say municipal water systems can be easy targets if they're connected to the internet.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and...
That's just absolutely stupid. Everything tied into the grid. What is this? Georgia and let me play this one. Georgia, Michigan. What is this about? I don't know. Ain't talking about droughts with them. I haven't played that yet. Let me get this one.
Sources are identifying 2 more states that are now reporting cyber attacks on water systems after a hack on systems in Minnesota that investigators say may be linked to Iran or its proxy groups. Now, in Minnesota's case, President Trump is blaming state officials, though he didn't provide any specific evidence for that. Our Andrew Dimber joins me now in studio.
We're having time about improving infrastructure from roads and water and electricity. Them niggas ain't doing shit. And then Trump was one of them that was talking that shit. But anyway.
Along with former senior CIA operations officer and ABC News contributor Daryl Blocker. Andrew, I want to begin with you. What more exactly are we learning?
Yeah, so this all started, at least reportedly, in Minnesota. More than 30 water systems in that state targeted in what officials are calling a coordinated cyber attack. Apparently, these hackers went after the computerized control systems at these water facilities, essentially the mechanisms that help operate the infrastructure. And now there are 2 more states reporting very similar attacks here, Georgia and Michigan. State officials say that the disruptions here, how widespread this was very limited, saying that they identified the vulnerabilities rather quickly, essentially that they caught this in time. Federal investigators...
They can't tell you it was Iran, though. How come they can't say it was Iran? Because it's really them that did it. Esau did it shit over here in America. I don't know what to call it,
but... Meanwhile, say that they may be looking into...
Well, we know damn well it was Esau that did it.
Whether this has a link to Iran, whether these hackers are Iranian linked, whether directly or by proxy. Minnesota leaders have at least been briefed on that possibility.
All right, anyway, let's get to this next one about droughts. I just want to play this real quick.
A docking bay underneath a mountain of soil, and in between, the occasional foot traffic. Hard to imagine this was all underwater not long ago, except for the decaying remains of a fish kill. Romeo Lobos is one of dozens of fish farmers operating in this dam. He says it was debilitating to see fish they'd taken months to grow, dead and floating in the water.
We gathered as many fish as we could, but it was difficult because it was muddy. We could only sell them for 50 cents per kilo at the market, almost like we were giving them away, but it's better than nothing.
The local Fisheries Bureau says there was too little water and oxygen for the number of fish in the dam after a prolonged dry spell because of the El Niño weather pattern.
This is Magat Dam, one of the biggest reservoirs in the Philippines. It supplies a rice-producing region, but the water level has been dropping since January. You can actually see the water lines over there, and at the beginning of the year, the dam was at just over 190 meters. By July, it had fallen to 160 meters. That's a major drop. Even a super typhoon added only 30 centimeters. And while you can see here water flowing for irrigation, it's barely even half of the normal flow, as evidenced by this water line here.
Despite the warning from the government that planting now may be counterproductive, some rice farmers here say they'd rather take the risk than end up with nothing.
When it comes to that shortage of water, yeah, like saying this shit affecting the rice, and there'll be no food, no water, no food. Yeah.
We might not be able to make money, but if by some luck we got some rain, then we may be able to harvest enough for our own consumption.
But others are already realizing luck may also be in short supply.
With cracks like this, these crops are likely going to die if it doesn't rain soon. That means we would lose all the money spent to grow them.
Romeo says he's lost thousands of dollars. He's begun growing fish, but it's going to take months before he can harvest. And that's if it rains enough to replenish the Magat Dam. Barn below Al Jazeera, Isabela Province, Northern Philippines.
Yep, plagues. Let me see. Drying up. Let me get to this one right here. You know, water's critical for a whole lot of stuff. Ecclesiastes chapter 29, verse 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and house cover. Shane, the point is, reading this is about the chief thing for life is water. Either you're losing water, don't have water because of war, or because of what was the other one? The other video? Oh, cyber attack. You can have water, but then the water might be tainted and be poison and such, and it wouldn't be safe to drink or bathe your butt with. And then you got water that you just don't have water because of droughts. And then plus, hey, you don't have no water because of data centers. I mean, sucking them up out the river and the ponds and lakes or whatever. Anyway, let's get to talk about food. And then I'm going to get to some more scriptures.
Known for building special bonds, no one wants to be known for cancer, but a treatment can be.
Hey guys, do you think for a moment that Washington, D.C. is trying to cause the next meat crisis? It's like they're already working on it. Some voices, some extremely radical voices, have spent years pushing for less meat. They've been pushing for different diets, top-down redesigns of the entire food system, heck, eating bugs, lab-grown science projects. Here's something that I've noticed. When processing capacity gets tighter, these voices often get significantly louder. I've also noticed that investors in the alternative protein market tend to spend a lot more money. It just seems like any disruption always seems to hit at sensitive times. Now, I'm not saying that this video is about a secret plot. What I'm saying is that the stakes, no pun intended, are real, and the mixed signals coming out of Washington are also very real. Imagine for a second that you're a rancher. You just spent 18 months of your life raising cattle, and finally, those cows are reaching the point where they're ready to bring to market. Then, out of the blue, Congress announces what could be the largest restructuring of meat packaging companies in decades. Guys, that is the debate unfolding in Washington right now. One half of the government is spending about $500 million to keep small and regional meat processors operating. Meanwhile, the other side of the government is trying to advance a bill that could change who owns a large majority of that same processing capacity. Now the question is, do these two things work together? Or they don't work together at all, and one creates a real transition risk for the very system that's feeding American people. Now, we've spent the past year or so covering America's shrinking cattle herd, as have many other people probably. It's kind of a big deal. We've talked about the pressure on independent processors and the strain on the American food supply. Today, we're going to look at a clear contradiction coming out of Washington, D.C. And I'm going to explain to you guys what this could mean for the cattle in the pens and the steaks on your plates. Now, stay with me until the very end of this video here, because we're going to discuss the question and all of this that may actually matter the most. And to kind of give you a hint on that, if these plants are actually sold, who is in the position to buy them? Now, maybe you don't raise cattle, you have nothing to do with farming, but this is why this topic still reaches you. Every hamburger, every steak, every school lunch, every restaurant, every major military dining hall, all of it runs through this processing system. When that system slows, the effects don't just stay out on these ranches. They don't stay out on the farms. They show up in your grocery aisle. Yanasa TV keeps the information flowing, but we need your help in keeping it up. Shop at Yanasa Trading Co. and support this channel. We have a full line of bison tallow products now back in stock. Check it out at Yanasa Trading Co. These are made by friends that we have made while filming the Native documentary. For our candle collection, we've also added an entire lineup of fall candles. He's making them. You should know this. 4 companies handle approximately 85% of the processing capacity for most of your meat supply. And ranchers feel that concentration when the markets get them. So at the same time, the U.S. cattle herd is at a 72-year low, 86.2 million head. And the scary thing about it is that the calf crop we had last year was even worse. But it's for that reason that the USDA launched the SPUR program. Now, people have asked me how they plan on implementing the SPUR program. Nobody's really for sure yet. They kind of announced the program. They announced the money. We don't necessarily have a good grasp on the implementation at this moment. Now, the SPUR program is aimed at keeping small and mid-sized processors online by pumping in about $500 million, $500 million. This is all good, okay? But here's the scale that most people miss in this conversation. The large packaging plants, these large meat packers, can process up to 5,000 head of cattle a day. Some of these smaller and regional processors are lucky to get that in a week. Some don't get it in a month. Some only do it in an entire year. If one of those large packaging facilities slows just 10%, hundreds of animals all of a sudden have nowhere to go in the market a day. Now those cattle, they don't stop eating. The feed costs to the farmers and ranchers, they don't stop because the cows don't stop eating. The interest on their operating loans, that certainly never stops. Guys, that is how a bottleneck creates a financial crisis in a sector overnight. It's how a bottleneck shuts down American producers like that. So now there's this new bill in Washington. The bill would make it simply illegal for one of these major meat packers to control more than one major protein. In other words, they're going to have to choose, are we going to focus on beef? Are we going to focus on pork? Are we going to focus on chicken? But, Tyson can't have it all. JBS can't have it all. They can't process different types of protein, not underneath this new bill. The bill also interestingly sets hard limits on how much control over the beef market one of these corporations can have. Now, if they exceed any of these limits, the government would simply come in and force divestiture of plants, shut down of plants, selling the assets, and it also pushes for faster sale of foreign-owned operations. So if you're one of these companies and you're pushed into this situation, they prefer you sell something foreign.
So anyway, this is going to increase problems when it comes to food. Let's get to the next one.
We're learning more about the meat
He's the players of Yahweh Shabbat Shah.
processing plant fire in Iowa that we first told you about last Thursday. A rabbi tells Ag Day that it produces almost 10% of the
rabbi. Oh, this is kosher foods. You know damn well them niggas had something to do with it. You know them. You know who I'm talking about. When you're talking about some kosher, yeah, they have something to do with it.
Kosher beef and poultry. You can see here the videos and the photos of the AgriStar meat processing fire that took place last Tuesday. Rabbi Moshe Elephant is the CEO of OU Kosher. That's a company that certifies meat as kosher. And he says it's been a hectic couple of days trying to line up alternative supplies. However, he says for the Jewish community, the supply shifts haven't set in yet. Everyone's just trying to buy as much kosher meat as they can.
The Jewish calendar is also now working in our favor because we're 6 weeks away from the Jewish high holidays. A very big part of Jewish holidays is eating meals, and meat and poultry are served at those meals. So if there's ever a time when we need meat and poultry, this is the time of the year where that is needed.
Rabbi Elephant's concerned that if costs go up, bad actors could try to come in and sell fake kosher meat at a cheaper price. Now he encourages people to make sure that they're buying real kosher meat.
Whatever. Let me get a scripture. Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. Kosher. I'm like, what the fuck is kosher? Was chicken? Beef? Can't eat pork. These devils probably still eat pork anyway. Because they ain't the people anyway. There's a bunch of damn Edomites. You're going to have some Israelites amongst them heathens. But anyway, yeah, man. If the famine of the bread going to be affected, or the bread going to be affected, or you ain't going to get no food because the Lord's jacking everything up, from the processing of the food, the growing of the food, the raising of the food, the daggone packaging of the food, logistics, delivering of the food, everything. I mean, even, growing the process, like fertilizer and you growing stuff, everything's getting jacked up. The water, you need water to grow the food or either raise the food. You got to give animals the food, like cows and such. What else was the other videos I was playing that was talking about cows? I think it had something to do with I don't know, was it something to do with the drought? Heat waves, devastate feedlots. Thousands of cattle lost across the plains. Was that what I just played? No. It's right here. Yeah, I've been played that. So the heat waves jacking up, it's messing up the cows, giving them heat strokes or whatever the fuck, killing them. Yep. Let me get them other scriptures. That's it I was supposed to get about the storms and floods and such. Nahum chapter 1 verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. So all these plagues is for famine, wild storms, or wind storms, or rain storms, and what else? Earthquakes and volcanoes. Shit, all this is plagues from the Lord. It's punishment for the wicked of the wicked of Israel, the 2/3, and you heathens. And the Lord Yahweh will have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, the clouds of the dust of his feet. So the Lord controlling everything. Fuck with man say about some. They got weather manipulation and earthquake making machines and all that other crap. I'm like, yeah, then whatever. Anyway, it's all the Lord. Isaiah chapter 28 verse 2. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Shema shall have a mighty and strong one, which is a tempest of hell and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters shall cast down to the earth with the hand. When all them floods from, what was it, China? Yeah, China, and I don't know where else. But anyway, Isaiah chapter 29 verse 6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, with thunder and with earthquakes, and great noise, and storm, and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. Fire from the west coast of America to what was it, in Spain, France. I mean, I don't know what else is on fire. I don't know, but shit. Man, the Lord is visiting this place. What else I got? What else I got? I can't even think right now. I forgot what this video was about. I watched some of it. I think it has something to do with food because of the lack of workers. Let's see. Well, first thing, hold on, not first. Let me get another scripture. Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains, compares to womb which pains. When a child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So the Lord ain't slowing this down. Nope. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. Yep, there ain't gonna be no slowing down of these plagues. The Lord gonna, and then plus the Lord is gonna bring these plagues fast too, because He's gonna speed up the time for these elect. And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So it's going to be happening from the north, south, east, and west of the earth. And so wherever Israelite be, hey, you're going to feel these plagues, bro, sis. So the best thing you need to do is seek the Lord and forget everything else of this world and try to get right with the Yahweh Shema Shah to your best ability. Let's get this video. Coming from Arrows of Indignation 144. See.
Because modern wars aren't just fought with tanks and drones. They are fought through shipping lanes, energy, fertilizer, and of course, food. Every major piece of the global food system depends on infrastructure. The natural gas plants that produce fertilizer, the export terminals that load grain, the ports that move cargo, the shipping choke points that keep global trade flowing. When that infrastructure comes under attack, the damage does not stay local. It ripples across the entire world. The war in Ukraine has already disrupted grain exports, fertilizer markets, and energy flows for years. Recent reports also indicate that Ukrainian strikes have targeted infrastructure linked to Russian grain storage and exports. Listen to this.
What the Ukrainians are doing is they're attacking Russia's wheat production, their ability to move large numbers of goods of wheat to the international market. And then if you add that with the ongoing agricultural shutdown because of the Strait of Hormuz, we are talking about global famine conditions happening in real time, and we're heading into it right now.
This is a very big deal because Russia remains one of the world's largest wheat exporters. So when warehouses and ports or export facilities are damaged and attacked, less food reaches global markets. At the same time, the Houthi campaign that's happening as of today in the Red Sea continues to threaten shipping through one of the world's most important maritime choke points. That pressure extends to traffic moving through the Suez Canal, forcing many ships to take longer, more expensive routes around Africa. Now, the conflict involving Iran, that's put another critical choke point, the Strait of Hormuz, under intense scrutiny. Roughly 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through that narrow waterway. And there are reports of fires and explosions affecting energy infrastructure in the Gulf region, raising concerns about the resilience of global LNG supplies. See, Qatar's Ras Laffan complex is the largest liquefied natural gas export facility in the world. If major LNG export capacity were to be significantly disrupted, the consequences would extend far beyond higher electricity bills, because energy is food. Farmers produce less food. Lower yields mean higher prices. And in the poorest countries, higher prices can quickly turn to hunger and famine. This is why strategists are watching far more than the battlefields. They're watching the infrastructure, the LNG terminals, the grain silos, the wheat export ports, the fertilizer plants, the oil refineries, the shipping lanes. Because these are the foundation of the global food system. One attack, yeah, that can be absorbed. Two, certainly can be managed. But when multiple critical systems come under pressure at the same time, the risks begin to compound. Meanwhile, attention is also turning to another critical choke point, the Strait of Malacca.
At the end of the day, we can see that famine is coming, and that's how I think that you're going to be able to see other things that are going to unfold, such as closing the Strait of Malacca. Strait of Malacca does maybe 7 times more traffic than Panama Canal, and Panama Canal is absolutely vital to the United States.
7 times more maritime traffic than the Panama Canal passes through that single waterway, the Strait of Malacca. It is one of the primary arteries for energy, manufactured goods, and global trade moving between the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. So any major disruption there could send shockwaves through the supply chains worldwide. See, this is why experts who study global logistics don't just watch where the missiles land. They watch the map of global infrastructure, because history shows that some of the deadliest consequences of war do not happen during the fighting. They happen months or even years later. When store shelves empty, when harvests fail, when a bag of fertilizer costs more than farmers can afford, when humanitarian aid just can't keep up. The global food price spikes of 2008 helped to fuel unrest across multiple countries. The disruptions following Russia's war with Ukraine contributed to sharp increases in food and fertilizer prices worldwide. The question now is whether multiple conflicts, multiple shipping choke points, and multiple attacks on critical energy and food infrastructure could compound all of these pressures. The exact scale of any future food crisis, now let's be honest, that's uncertain. We don't know. It will depend. Depends on a lot of things. How long do these disruptions last? Whether shipping remains open or continues to be shut down. How quickly energy and fertilizer production can recover. And whether global supply chains will adapt. But make no mistake, the risk here is very real. The United Nations has repeatedly warned that war, economic instability, and climate shocks are already driving record levels of global food insecurity. And the countries most at risk are often the ones that had nothing to do with starting these wars in the first place. Yemen, Somalia, Sudan, parts of Africa, South Asia. If the world loses access to critical energy, if fertilizer production declines, if grain exports shrink, and if shipping choke points continue to close, the biggest casualties may not be the soldiers on the front lines. They may be the families thousands of miles away who simply cannot grow or afford their next meal. The world often thinks of war in terms of missiles and casualties and battle maps, right? But sometimes the most devastating weapon isn't a bomb. It's an empty plate.
Yep. And it's coming. So the best thing you Israelites need to do is seek the Lord right now before it's too late. Let me get to this. Yeah, cause that's, hey man, bro, that staff of bread being broken. War is one thing. War is a way to break the staff of bread. Let me see. I guess that's it. Yeah, I guess that's it. What, you wanna go outside? God damn, man. You were just out there. Yeah, alright, I'll let you out. She sent something out there. She want to go and investigate. Did I already read? Yeah, I already read that. But when yeah, she'll send upon you evil pharaohs of famine. Yeah. Well, hey, these the players of Yahweh Shema Shah. Like I said, man, seek the Lord. Yep, seek him by seeking his prophets and take heed of what they say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. It's gonna be a rough ride. It's gonna be a rough ride. If you ain't got that covering from Yahweh Shema Shah, well, you gonna die. Or either shit, the Lord ain't gonna have no mercy on you. Yep. I gotta say it like that. Shit. Yahweh Shema Shah don't play around. Shit, ain't no time to play around. A lot of you Israelites like to play around. Hold on. Yeah, ain't no time to be playing around. Life and death situation. It's right now it's life and death. It's gonna get really deadly when it gets real bad out here. But anyway, seek the haven for you men out there preaching this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith, and trust strong in Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong in Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order with Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.